put my bar in again since I ordered all the parts, and it's warped from welding, so I heated it up and it's still expanded there, but it should shrink back. I read that you shouldn't quench it. I was quenching it last time. You shouldn't quench it because it makes it brittle. And I'm not sure how it affects it shrinking, but that was a lot closer. I heated it up and it got further away. So I figure when it cools, it'll shrink back, and even if I get it to go towards the front of the car a little more than it should, all I have to do is add more weld there and shrink it and pull it back if I want. But hopefully it'll be just perfect when it cools. Alright, I pulled this out of the backyard. That's a bracket off of a Fox body for these, which is the sway bar for the front end of one of the Fox bodies. So I'm gonna pound this off, cut this off. I'm probably gonna figure out a way to repurpose these, and I'm gonna put it on that, like that, and then weld the bracket somewhere up there. And I'm thinking a good spot would be right here, because I think I want it on the underneath side for strength with against the weight of the car. If it's on the top, then that little bracket will be holding the weight of the car. Although theoretically, when the car twists, it'd be pushing up on one and down on the other. So I'm not sure that it matters. But let's see here. I don't know. Might be able to get this in here somewhere. Like that. Like that. That'll be in the way of my bolt, but I suppose if I come down a little more, I could relocate this by a couple inches. Well, that looks a whole lot less cobbled up. I'll have to drill and make some holes and put some nuts in there. Hold some nuts flush with that so that I can just run the bolt into the frame. It's either that or drill all the way through and get 4-inch bolts and a backing plate, which might even be stronger. Maybe I'll do that. All right, that looks pretty good. Yeah, it's gonna work really nice. It's almost like it was meant to be there. I chopped 3 inches off of that side and the other side. It's not gonna rub the tire, but it would just look better if it was chopped off. Okay, so from there, from right there to here is 40 inches. From there to here, this line is 24 inches tall. So, and from here to here is 24.5 inches. So it's 42 like that. And if I want to go all the way to here, then it'd probably be closer to 46. I don't know if I need to go all the way to there because the tire goes to the edge of the fender, or an inch inside the edge of the fender, so it'd probably be closer to here is all I would need, which would make it a minimum of 38, but 40 would definitely work. So it looks like my gas tank can be from here to here, which is like 21 inches from there to there, and 14 1/4 inches would leave, because it's 14 3/8, so 14 1/4 would fit in here, and then it can be 12 to 14 inches deep, and I could have a lip here for it to set on, and maybe get a custom tank made where it would just drop in and drop in here and bolt on a shelf or a lip or whatever, and then stick up from the top 4 inches, and then hang down here, you know, about in there ish. So I don't know how many gallons that would be. 14 by 20 by 14 deep. So I ordered 12-inch DOM pipe that's 1 inch inner diameter and 0.133 or something thick wall. It's basically this, only DOM material. So I can, these are 6 inches inside the pipe, so I can adjust these out and then weld them all the way around with the DOM pipe instead of this black pipe. I'm sure it's stronger, even though this probably would actually work, but it's not the right material. So I get the DOM pipe, I put it on these, and I don't have to buy anything else. That's like $90 for the pipe for 4 1-foot pieces. So I'm just going to do that. Then I need to get some Heim links to go from the anti-roll bar down to here. And that's, just misplaced my tape. But that's, it looks like 13.5-inch total to go where I want to weld it, because it'd weld between 13 and 14. It'd be where the tab would weld. So I can get some materials ordered for that. So probably another 1-foot pipe for each side, plus Heim joints. I need to measure the width of that, because I think it's a 3/8 Heim joint that'll fit in there. And then that should, I could probably get, I should probably make a 3/4 inch Heim joint there. And so I'll need a 1-foot pipe for that with the Heim joints, 5/8, because 5/8 seems to be the size that they want you to use for suspension. And then I can use 3/8 for the anti-roll bar. I think these are already 5/8. Yeah, pretty sure these are already 5/8. So yeah, there's no difference between getting a pipe and welding it around here and just making this whatever length I want, and welding a Heim joint to a pipe. I don't see the difference. So when the tubs get in, I got 40-inch tubs. I think because there's window openings here, and I want to be able to get into there, I think I'm going to start it here instead of back here, and put it up against that wall all the way back over to here, and then I'll have to cut it longer because it'll have to shoot in over there to the fender, and then it'll probably come down around back here, because if I get bigger tires, I'm gonna have to bring the rear end back anyway, so it won't get more room here. I'd have to, if I get bigger than 33s, is what I'm saying. If I doubt I ever will, but the rear end would have to come backwards, and the fender would probably have to get removed a little bit more right here, but the well wouldn't have to be messed with because it's going to come clear back here. And once I get those in and know where they're going to be, because they're going to be from maybe a ½ inch away from there, because I can't get them wide enough to actually touch that, but they'll be out to here, and then I'll have this small opening from where the fender ends here to there, and maybe I can fit a battery there. So I'll have to figure out how to make a floor here and here, because the tank's gonna go here. And then the wheel wells I'll have to have some kind of a flooring that covers from here to here, and then I'll just put a piece up over the top of this, or maybe even a piece from the speakers down, but it seems like it would be better to just put a piece of metal from frame to frame and screw it in, or something, or even use those insert nuts, those crimpable insert nuts, and screw a plate down right there, and that should enclose the trunk pretty good. Maybe run a plate across the top there from the shelf down. Yeah. So I got 7 inches there, and I don't know how far up the trunk sticks, but I think it's not very much. And I got 9 inches there. And so even if I set it here, I'd have 9 inches, and then it would set at an angle down, because it would be, or I'd have to elevate it here, but I could set it a tank like that at an angle if it was 7 inches deep, and then I could go as big as the whole trunk area if I want, if it's 7 inches deep. That's the stock tank. That's interesting. Should probably wait till I get the wheel wells in, because I could probably get quite a big tank in this trunk, actually. I wonder how that sucker would fit on the underneath side. I can't believe this. That's the stock tank. And it fits just like the stock tank fits. I mean, I'm gonna have to, the fuel pump goes there. And so that's the problem, because that's not going to be nowhere near big enough. But just the fact that the tank fits, that's really cool. And a lot of it has to do with, because it's shaped back here like the same as the bumper. But and another problem is going to be the wheel tubs are going to come, so this tank isn't going to actually fit when the wheel tubs are here. Of course, I could make the wheel tubs thinner, because I don't know where the wheels go exactly, but they probably only go about to here. Anyway, that gives a good indication that this could that I could put a tank underneath the sills and be just fine. That's a 7-inch deep tank. It's formed to fit the back bumper though, but so a 7-inch square tank won't go that far in. See, it fits perfect there is why. But there's still room here for the coilovers. So that's 24 inches right here. All right, so that's a promising development. I could take a hammer and bend that up and gain a couple inches. See what it looks like from above. So the fender wall that I bought was scheduled to come up against this and come all the way out to here. That would kind of be in the way. I'd have to notch the fender to come down and go like that. But this is completely really doable. I mean, I couldn't cut that. I could probably bend it because that's sealed there. But I've seen tanks bent in the corners before. So the fender would come down from here and meet up with this. Top of this used to be the trunk floor, and that's exactly where that tank is supposed to sit. See, actually it needs to come over just a little bit, but and actually those wheels could probably get some spacers and come out a couple more inches and still be okay in reality. All right, that's exciting. Just peeling up that corner makes a huge difference. I could still probably get away with shimming the tires out quite a bit, really. So I think that I'm going to figure out a way to mount this stock tank, and it'll be good. Well, at least I could buy one that is for this car and know it'll fit. So that's pretty good news. Okay, I'm just spitballing here, but since I didn't weld this all the way in, I can probably take it and scoot it down here, drop it down onto the tank lip, and then put insert nuts in here. So that would come down to here. And then on the top here, actually I got this tank slid back at least an inch further than it was, but I could weld some stuff here, a plate here to screw this backside on. Front and back ought to be good enough. I would think front and back would be good enough, but I have to do some more thinking here on how I'm gonna see. I could bring some maybe 1-inch square stock or something like that straight down from here, then notch it over underneath this, but it has to be removable, so I'd have to figure out how to drop this down and bring in a piece that would unbolt, or I'd have to make it bolt on here, the piece that comes down and goes out and under this, bolt on here and here. Yeah, I'll have to figure it out, but that's enough room to race. Yeah, that's enough room. I could probably even weld here and come out here with a brace that drops down and hooks in, and even bolt it on here so that it has through bolts or whatever, but it comes out, drops down and hooks in, and then you just bolt it on there. Lots of ideas coming to my head. So here's another idea. I could bring some stock out this way, here and here, and then put a bar across here, all the way across, and use bolts or all thread to hang it. Just make a hanger and hang it and pull it up tight, and use lock nuts and pull it up against this frame nice and tight. Could actually do the same in the front, and I could make holes anywhere I want and put as many hangers as I want and just hang it. I don't know, I could probably still do something even better than that. Just like bring it down, like come out here, bring across with the bridge, and then bring a post down with a foot on it and just bolt it tight. That's a better idea. And then from there, come down, bring another piece off of that leg, come down here, in here somewhere, and frame in with some more stock, square stock or something right here, frame in a box. And then I could put a floor here for the battery and have the fender come down just to this floor and make the floor level here, right here. And then have the fender just stop right here and go to there. That's a good idea. That's a better idea. Then I could just come up here and unbolt these and drop this tank out anytime I want. Yeah. Okay, that's the fender. That's the edge of the tank. That's the tire. There's 15 inches between this and the tire. There's at least 5 inches deep here. That's why this tank can be 5 inches wider. This tank, from this edge to the end of the tank, is 20 inches. The tank is 29 inches wide, maybe 29 and a half. The tires are 30 inches at the widest, but it's not where the tires are 30 and a half tire to tire from here, but back here it's less, or it's more. So 29 and a half. 29 and a half is the size of this tank. And then from here to here is 20. Not real thrilled about the way they want me to bolt this on. So that means I have to take that nut off and retorque it. The pan's made pretty good though. Solid, really thick. I'm a tiny bit concerned that the pan's not just going to drop right on, because I got to twist this just to get it in. So it's like I got to bolt this to the motor first, then I'm going to have to figure out, hopefully it's not hard to shimmy that pan around that. It's made really good though, and it fits all the bolts. I slid it on the motor already, so it fits. They wallered out the holes, so they must have test fitted it. Okay, so to get this to work, I got this bolt off. I got to take these two studs out and grind them down to where they're going to be flush with the nut in order for this setup to work. Alright, I got this installed. Just had to take the bolts out one at a time, take them out and grind them flush with the nut, and then install them back at 110 pounds. And these are 25. So now I can see if the pan fits. This is the Moser center section I bought. It's the aluminum one. It's got 411 gear and a Detroit locker. And I got it from Quick Performance. So I'm just gonna set it in there, put some nuts on it, and throw the axles in and see how everything goes. Good thing I didn't buy any nuts and spacers, because this kit comes with them, double threaded, and it threads in here. I think even a nut goes on these short little nuts right here, go on the back side. Well, this was gonna be easy, but this does not slide over the bearing. I could have swore they said that this would go on and that they could install the bearing. Now I gotta pull the frickin' bearing to put this on, because it goes on this side right here, like that. So now I gotta figure out how to get this bearing off without messing it up. And then I'm questioning whether this O-ring is even in the right spot, because doesn't seem like seems like it's upside down, but I don't know how that ring's got to be on the right spot. Well, I hope that comes off easy. On a review for this kit, somebody said they cut a notch in it and just slid it over. But if you look at it real close, it looks like you'd have to cut into the holes all the way. It's like if you had a 1/4 inch on each side of the hole, that might be an okay idea, but it looks like you're gonna have to open up those holes, because that's pretty wide right there. So that's as wide as the axle. If I was to cut that to where it'd slide over, these mounting holes would be open. That would severely weaken this. If I was going to decide to cut it, I'd have to cut it like right there. And this is aluminum, it's not steel. So I don't know whether I should do that or not. This bearing probably presses off and on fairly easy, so it's probably better to just do that. Alright, so I got this strange brake kit, and it's a full solid piece, and all the other kits, they have a space here so you can slide it on the axle right there over that part and then bolt it in. So I've been recommended to go ahead and do this by Quick Performance. They said that people do it all the time and it works, so I've seen some videos that say it works too, so I'm just gonna cut this just wide enough to get over the axle. Alright, it's cut out, and so I just gotta bolt that on there and put the brakes on. This kit, this strange kit that I have, came with these bolts, so you don't have to grind the bolts. And it came with these brake pads. This is the kit number. Those are the discs. I got all this from Quick Performance. I was able to slide these right in and tap them with a hammer, and there was an O-ring that slid about 1/8 of an inch inside of here, and that's what seals this. I didn't record that, so now I'm just gonna put the brakes on. Now that's cool. I've never had studs before that thread in, and then they got a backing nut. Some needs to come in a little more, it looks like. Yeah, that's cool. And then it came with these spacers. I ordered all this off of Quick Performance. I just called them on the phone and told them what I had, and they helped me figure out everything I needed. This setup is for these wheels. See how they're so thin, and it's a 5/8 hole. Those are convos, I think. So put these studs on the other side, and then I gotta get these slicks off and put those on, and I gotta do it by hand, and that's gonna suck. Now, granted, this one's flat, but man, that's a big difference. They're probably the same when this one's aired up, but this one's really flat, but it's a lot wider. Tire was easy to get on. The old one was really hard to get off. I think I'm going to grease this one up a lot more than I did the last one, which pretty much wasn't at all. Well, son of a gun. These are 4 1/4 centers. They need to be 4 1/2. I went to put the wheel on and it don't fit. So I measure it 4 1/4. Unbelievable. All right, it's been a week later and I got the axle sent out and re-drilled and tapped for 4 3/4 bolt pattern, because that's 4 3/4 and 5.5, and 5.5 is Ford and 4 3/4 is Chevy, and these were sold to me as 4.5 bolt pattern, but the small pattern is 4.75. So I got these drilled for 4.75 because 5.5 was just plain too big. It wouldn't fit these rotors discs, so I got the 4.75 bolt pattern, which measures 4.5, which is why the guy sold me these as 4.5, because you measure from the back of one bolt and the center of the other, and he and I both measured them wrong. So you're supposed to measure from here to the center. I don't have a tape near me. There's one in my pocket. So, yeah. See, it's 4.75. So now these rotors fit. And the wheel will fit. And so I got this bolted up like this because these strange pads in this caliper has to be shimmed. See, I got the shims right here. That's these. And it bolts on right here. Right there. That's threaded, by the way. So there's no nut here on the back side. And then you just look for play. And that looks pretty good. What is that, 4 of them? I think it's 4 and 4. So now I'll mount this on the other side, and then this. Probably should put it here so I don't lose it. I'm gonna need to put some kind of a thread sealer on it, and I noticed it bleeds in 4 different spots. So that's interesting. That they can be mounted just about anywhere you want to mount them. Pretty neat. These brake pads are interesting too. They just slide in there like that. And then this goes in between them, and in the holes. Like that. And then you drop it down inside there. It's hard to do with one hand. Alright, got them drop down in there. And I'll lock this on later. I'll just spin it on by hand for now. I just realized these bleeders being right here mean is I'm going to have to take off the wheels in order to bleed them. And this arrow is pointing up for the direction. And that arrow right here on the disc is pointing in that direction, so I got everything going the right rotation. I'm adjusting these and it freezes up. The damn thing froze up and I don't even have any weight on it while I'm adjusting it. It just stuck and then it would not unstick. So it's broken half now because I thought I could heat it up and put it in the vise and get it out, and it will not budge. So all the money I frickin' spent on these is wasted. Jeez. This one did it too. I caught it in time though. Just I filed these. It was just barely, you could hardly tell it even had a problem. But I can spin the nut on and off now, but it was tight right there, and you had to almost look with a magnifying glass. I mean, it was that small to find the imperfection in the threads that causes it. It's crazy. I cut more of the body away. I cut from here all the way down to there. The other side wasn't that hard to decide because it was all rusted right here. And I might still need to do more. I might want to come out a little further and then dive down just to make it so it looks like it's centered. Can't back up enough to show it, but it doesn't look centered. Maybe on the other side I can show it. All right, I cut out all the rust right there, and it needs to be shaped a little bit better. Then I need to get both of them to match. So I might at some point make a cardboard template that goes over that and then trace it so both sides look the same. And then do some body work later. All right, got the wheels and tires on and the brakes. Got it back on its temporary supports these are where the springs are gonna go. So I got it back on that. This, I'm not sure if it's gonna work or not, because when the rear end twists, it's gonna do this stuff. I might wind up having to redo it, I don't know. But it's straight for now, and that's where it needs to be. I'm missing the control arm because that one broke, but I think I only need 3 to do what I need to do to line this stuff up, and then I'll just buy some new ones. Unfortunately, it's $200 wasted, but you'll have that. That's what the brakes look like from in here. And this is the clearance I have. I think I'm gonna get rid of that. It's the clearance on this side. There seems to be a little more on this side, but I'm gonna even it out later. And I gotta get rid of that. And these are pointed down a little bit. I'm gonna have to raise them up at some point. But that's it for the day. I'm out of time. So I'm gonna have to do something later with it. But I might go ahead and finish this video here. So like and subscribe if you haven't, if you want to, and have a good day.